Welcome back to Part 5. This is where we activate the license and configure our member users so that we can invite them into our n8n portal to get their workflows done. As you see at the lower right-hand corner, it's telling us that our license key is ready. So let's go check that out next. All right, here we are. As you see here, n8n just sent us our license key and telling us that we have 14 days to activate it. So what are we waiting for? Let's go back to the portal and activate this key next. Okay, we're back into our admin portal. Now look at the bottom left-hand corner where you see my name, Tony Stark. You'll see 3 tiny dots. Click that and a small menu opens up. Click on Settings to go to the settings screen where we will activate our license. Let's go. All right, guys and dolls, now that we're here on the settings screen, we should be at the Usage and Plan tab on the left menu. Let's click on that Enter Activation Key button and look at the pop-up next. Okay, this is the pop-up window where we should paste our license key that we collected from our email. Now let's hit the Activate button. Boom! Look at that! Our license is now activated. How cool is that? Now we should be getting all those free upgrades for life. Awesome! Let's click on that Manage Plan button. Let's see what shows up. Okay, so this is pretty much n8n's promo links in case they can make some money out of you. We can just ignore this and go back to our portal to set up our member users. Let's go. All right, we're back at our n8n portal settings page. Under the Users tab is where you can invite member users. By the way, on a locally installed version of n8n, we can have only one admin user. If you want to get more, you need to upgrade. That said, I should mention that things are about to get pretty geeky from here. Remember I told you about more surprises? Here it begins. In order for us to invite member users, we have to set up a third-party email system first. Let's do that next. Okay, guys and dolls, meet Resend, an awesome emailing system for developers. Just look at the free tier. We get to send up to 3,000 emails per month for free. This simply doesn't get any better. Let's check out the Resend portal next. So that's what it looks like once you have an account here. You have to set up your domain here, then set up the MX record back at the DigitalOcean DNS portal. It's pretty simple, cause Resend portal will give you all the info you need. You can also get your API key here, which is a must. There are a lot of YouTube videos available that will walk you through setting that up. No worries. Once this is done, we have to make a huge change on our docker-compose.yml file. Let's look at that next. Wow, look at this beast. Sorry to do this to you, but this is what our current docker-compose.yml should look like in order for it to work with the member setup. But don't worry, I will explain it all next. Sorry about the small fonts. I had to do this so that I could show you the whole thing in one shot. Also, I'll include a copy of this in the description. Trust me, I had to go through a lot to set this up so that you don't have to. Now let's go talk about it in detail next. Alright, let's break down the most important parts of this config. Just the ones with the green check marks for now. First, n8n basic auth active is false. This means we've turned off basic authentication because n8n's own user management is now active. You'll log in using your admin credentials, not the old basic auth pop-up. Next, TZ is America, New York. This sets your time zone, which is crucial for scheduling workflows and getting accurate timestamps. In my case, the company's in Atlanta, so we're set to Eastern Time. Make sure you use your own city's time zone here. Then, webhook tunnel URL. Now that we have SSL, this lets n8n generate secure webhook URLs for integrations. If you plan on catching webhooks or using public integrations, you want this set to your HTTPS domain. Finally, down here, we've got all the new URL config lines. n8n external URL is your public-facing domain, used for things like invite links. Without this, those links won't work. n8n host tells n8n what its real host name is inside the container, keeps everything aware of where it lives. n8n port sets the port. It's often 5678 by default, but here it's explicit, so you always know what's up. If you nail just these, you're already ahead of 90% of self-hosted n8n admins out there. In the next part, we'll cover the rest, including the proxy settings, so you get a perfect setup with no surprises. Ready for deep dive? Let's go! Let's walk through the next critical sections of your Docker Compose file, starting with the proxy trust settings. First, proxy trust settings. These are absolutely essential when you're running n8n behind something like Nginx or Caddy. n8n.proxyhost equals your n8n subdomain, for example, n8n.yourdomain.com. This line tells n8n the exact host your reverse proxy is listening on, so it knows how to handle external traffic. n8n proxy port equals 443. This is the default port for HTTPS. Unless you've customized your ports, just keep it at 443. n8n proxy protocol equals HTTPS. This line confirms that your proxy is speaking HTTPS, not plain HTTP. It ensures n8n handles secure connections the right way. n8n editor base URL equals your full n8n URL. For example, https://n8n.yourdomain.com. This acts as a fallback. So whenever n8n needs to generate a link inside the editor or in notification emails, it always points to your main subdomain. That's it for proxy settings. Let's move to the resend SMTP configuration. This is where all your email notifications and user invites get powered up. n8n email mode equals SMTP. That just tells n8n to use SMTP for all outgoing emails. n8n SMTP host equals smtp.resend.com. That's the host name for resend. If you're using a different provider, just drop in their SMTP server address. n8n SMTP port equals 465. This is the standard port for secure SMTP connections. Most providers use 465 for SSL. n8n SMTP user equals resend. For resend, you typically just use the word resend. If you're with another provider, it could be your email address. n8n SMTP pass equals your resend API key. You'll grab this straight from your resend dashboard. No guessing required. n8n SMTP sender equals invitations@yourdomain.com. This is the from email for all your invites and notifications. Make sure it's an address you control and that it's verified in your SMTP portal. n8n SMTP SSL equals true. Always keep this set to true for secure email delivery. n8n user management equals true. This unlocks n8n's user management so you can add, edit, and delete team members right from the dashboard. n8n user invitation equals true. This enables you to invite users by email and send them join links directly. Just a note here, most of these SMTP settings come straight from your resend portal, so don't stress. You'll just copy and paste the values, nothing tricky. Last, let's talk recommended permissions and task runners. These are the good practice settings. n8n enforce settings file permissions equals true. This locks down your settings files so only the n8n process can access them. It's a must for server security. n8n runners enabled equals true. This lets n8n use background task runners to keep your workflows humming, even when the main process is tied up. And that wraps up these key sections. With these lines in place, your n8n instance will be secure, email ready, and fully equipped for team management. Coming up next, we'll break down the last advanced settings and get your team onboarded, Stark style. Stay tuned, guys. Okay, we are almost there. You know this by now. After every change in the config file, we must bounce the server or restart the server. That's exactly what is happening here. Let's go next. Okay, this is simply the server log we are looking at, just to make sure all is well. Please remember this Docker Compose logs n8n command for the future. This will come in very handy. In fact, this is the one I had to keep looking at over and over as I was fixing the config on the docker-compose.yml file. If yours look like this, no, you are home. Let's go next. All right, we are back at our n8n portal. This is where we invite our first member user to make sure all that hard work pays off. Go ahead, click that invite button to see what happens next. Okay, in this pop-up, we simply drop our member's email address and hit the red button that says invite user. Let's go next. Look at that beauty. Our member user is now showing up at a pending status, and our invite was sent. Let's go check the member's email next. Voila! Now, here we can see that the member received our n8n invitation just fine. Also, check to see it's the correct email address. So now we have no doubt. Let's look inside that email next. Alrighty then. So, now we can see the nice red button that we can click to get our membership activated. Very important to notice here that the line that shows the full subdomain n8n.yourdomain.com, that's where I was falling short at the beginning, since I didn't have my proxy set up correctly. For me, it was showing localhost 5778. When that happens, you should know that your proxy is not set up correctly in your docker-compose.yml file. That's why you see those red X's on this screen. That said, let's click that red button next. Okay, we are back at our n8n hosting. This time we simply register our member by dropping the first name, last name, and a strong password. So let's hit that Finish Account Setup button. Shall we? Congratulations! There you go. Now you're the big shot admin who not only set him or herself up with n8n, but also you've successfully had your members logging into their own n8n dashboards. That, my friend, is really super cool. Let's finish this series on the next screen. Thank you very much for sticking around, guys. We have come a long way. I just wanted to end it on this screen, because once all the admin and member user setup is done, this is what your brand new n8n rig should look like. This is where both the admin and member users will come to log in, and based on the user type, n8n will decide what your portal should look like when you log in. With that, I say goodbye. Just so you know, I'll be starting a brand new series where we will learn n8n step by step. This is only the beginning of the journey. Please stay tuned.